Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to this video. This summer's edition sees Mike and I attempting the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail across British Columbia. From Fernie, we went up the Hartley Lake Road, crossed over to the Bull River drainage, and went down to Fort Steele, and from Fort Steele we went to Kimberley, where we joined the Trans-Canada Adventure Trail. There were a few mishaps on the way to get going, but we did cover about 300 kilometers that day.
I'm in no hurry to go any faster. I'm contented. I'm very aware of the fact there's a fair amount of traffic on this freaking road.
That's the other thing too.
A motorhome?
You can't go flying around the corner.
The publicly maintained portion of the Grey Creek Pass Road had stretches like this, but it also has a lot of gravel on it, which makes it a little uneasy underfoot. Once we got off the public maintained portion, the road surface became a lot more dirt with a lot less gravel. However, you can see it remains quite rough. Due to high snow levels, Grey Creek Pass sometimes does not open until early July.
Well, continuing to climb, pretty steady. Up Grey Creek Pass. You can tell the road's dry by the dust. And the fact we're not down at the river level anymore, I suppose, shows we're climbing. I like the road better than the gravel, but it does have some very sharp rocks and some significant holes of the pot kind. But I feel like I've got much better traction on the D606s in this stuff than in the gravel. Which I think probably goes without saying.
Notice all those buried rocks that we tend to call buried heads. On the right side, as we travel down the road, look at all the avalanche chutes we pass while taking this route.
Well, I got big old D606 knobbies on. Okay, so we're over the top. We're heading down towards Kootenay Lake now. 10% grades, they're warning the truckers.
Some of these corners were really covered in flour silt with very little traction. After crossing the ferry at Crawford Bay, we put up tents at Toad Rock Campground and had dinner at the Belfer Ferry pub. The next morning saw us head up the west side of Kootenay Lake to Caslow, and from there along the west side of the lake up to Meadow Creek and across the unpaved highway along the Lardo River to Trout Lake. The gravel road along the Lardo River was pretty straight, but it had sections of deep gravel. As the road traveled along Trout Lake, it got narrow and the surface became very fine sand with all sorts of tight corners. It was a nice ride.
There's Trout Lake.
I don't know about you folks watching this, but I'd hate to take a left jag and hit the tops of those trees as I would scream down those slopes. Once we got past the community of Trout Lake, the road really widened out and the surface got much more hard packed again. It was at this stop that I discovered my front fork was leaking.
West side of Galena Bay Ferry. We're hoping we're on the correct road. Fine silty sand. Climbing.
The going along this logging road all the way south along the Arrow Lakes was really slow going. It seemed to take hours and hours and hours. And boy, it was a good thing there was no active logging going on, or this would have been dangerous. There was no logging going on because of the extreme fire danger, and the ministry had shut down all backcountry activities. We spent this time, most of it, standing on the pegs.
Downhill, long downhill. For future reference, when you come to the forks in the road, bear left, stay close to the water.
This road had sections of really solid hardpack interspersed with long, deep, soft, silty sand that just was unnerving.
Hope we don't need to turn around and go up that. If you've just come down a long hill, you're going to go up a long hill. And this stuff, buried heads in the rocks, buried rocks, boulders, and this fine flower-like silt. It's pretty rough. We're continuing south from Pritchard Creek. We climbed down and climbed up. About half hour now, and the road is definitely improving. This is a good thing. Beautiful over the last few minutes. Kind of enjoyed it. I am enjoying it. A little bit less stressful. And on my little road garment, it's actually got a road. I'm hoping that's in the cusp, because if it's New Denver, we're fucked. We totally missed a whole lot then. There's got to be the cusp. Over this rise, only to discover a sharp downhill with a right, left, right 90-degree turn at the bottom. No death grip, no front brakes, man. Ow. That was a thrill. Can you compare this to the Continental Divide? Well, weather makes a big difference. These roads, if it had been raining, I'd say a lot of the parts, or some of the parts, or significant portions would be impassable. This fine, silty clay hard pack might get really slick, and we've had sections of road where you can tell that it just gets gumbo-y when it's wet. So, And there have been some climbs and some downhills that have had a little bit of technical work. Baby heads, we call those, rocks buried in the road. Stuff like that. Nice stretches like this. Probably over half an hour now. With the odd surprising downhill in them, I suppose. So we've had good weather. Better than we've had on the Continental Divide, and that's made this easier. I'm not complaining. We are at the ferry, sort of. We'd most likely walk to it from here. Not sure. Might be following the routes. It's got to be going right. So now we're looking for Edgewood and gas and maybe accommodation. You can see it's human beings.
We'd long ago left the Arrow Lakes, and I was completely confused when this body of water showed up on the right side of the road. It took us forever to get to Edgewood.
We got a road. We got a better road. Like an improved cottage road. Mike's checking his directions. He's not sure. I think so, because on my map we're driving towards the highway. Highway 6. We're turning off to Edgewood. Edgewood. The village of. Do laps. You can't get lost. Mike can. Morning of the third day. So, we stopped for the bear. Now my phone's on, my camera's on. Bear ran off into the woods right here.
We had a really nice ride from Edgewood to Grand Forks that morning.
Grand Forks 92. Past the sign and climbing up this shit. Badly rutted stuff back there. Some sand, some boulders. That was every bit as challenging as shit on the Transamerica.
Yeah, there were still some pretty loose, gravelly surfaces on this stretch of road, and we spent a lot of time standing on the pegs.
Heading into Grand Forks. It's about 2 hours from Edgewood. Following the trail, we crossed over the river. We're taking this road, which gets us to the west side of Grand Forks. A little less pavement. The Garmin took us away from Grand Forks. And now all of a sudden, we're climbing this washboarded, twisty, sandy hill. Kept looking to the outside, didn't I?
This stretch of road really, it actually did have a fairly technical parts. There was climbing, there was rough road surfaces, rocky, sandy washboard. Some of the bridge approaches were quite well washed out.
Look to the inside, it works. Look to the outside, you go to the outside. We hit the highway at the old summit and turned back towards Grand Forks. Now we've turned off by the ski hill. I think is the site of Phoenix. Hot, dry, and dusty. Greenwood. So here we are heading out of Greenwood. Past the sign saying don't rely on GPS, unmaintained road. Just what we're relying on. Because it's unmaintained.
From Greenwood, we climbed and we dropped down and we climbed and we dropped down. And these were really quite technical, at least until we hit Highway 33.
The softer than it looks. It's been going on for a while. No death grip. None.
This shot was towards the end of a downhill and flower like silk.
Walking speed downhill. Whew.
Then you get to go uphill in it again.
Woo! Ah. Oh, look. Better. Not too bad, though. Just don't beat the shit out of a bike. Not much will. First fucking right. Conco Lake Forest Service Road. Just off Highway 33. Look at my little mappy thing working. Seem to be focusing on the uphill district. See, I can do it.
This 24-kilometer section of road was a pretty steady climb along the side of that mountain.
Oh. There's a bear right there running through the trees. So, they say this road has got a washout. So we're going to find out. A long way back.
As you watch this, consider what happens if you lose the road to the left, you're in the boonies. If you lose the road to the right, you're going downhill in the boonies.
You need a logging permit to come up here.
So of course, you know what I'm thinking. No way I'm going right. I sit down and look left. So it didn't go down, but it was jammed on my leg and it hurt. You can see the washout to the right as I ride by it. It was deep and filled with bushes to slow down the water. This road continued to climb, and it became single track long before we hit the top. Then it got wide and rough on the downhill side. Somewhere near Kelowna, end of Friday. The ride from Greenwood to here took at about 10 kilometers an hour. We've done 70 kilometers. There's our campsite. Let's start dinner. Mr. Noodles.
July 15th. There's our campsite. There's the clouds. We got some rain this morning at 6 o'clock. Now it's probably 7. And that's where we're going. We're north of Highway 33, north of Big White. Just a little stretch came down the Rock Creek Pass, Summit, whatever. And now we're heading to Lumbee. Should be about 80K.
The early part of this ride was in that deep flower. Then the roads got good, and as you can see, we got back to the buried heads and ruts.
Remember seeing that and saying, no fucking way?
You know what? So did I.
Lumbee and Kelowna in the back roads. Michael's zip tie attachment of his big black box quit. Went home, upset, taking out the top of the slime container. And so here we are, some of us in the shade. No flies on us, guys.
Look, we might be coming closer to Lumbee now. To Lumbee.
Where it got stinking hot, and we had a great lunch at the Sisters Cafe.
So we're off pavement, 35 kilometers north of Lumbee.
Now, I found this stretch of road was kind of pretty, but it kept going on and on. And I suspect some days there's a lot of recreational traffic along this bit too. I bet this road just turns to grease when it rains. Now here we're passing through a radio-controlled active logging area, and the road is thick, deep flower. Luckily for us, with the fire regulations and the work bans, no one was here working, or this would be pilot car accessible only. It was a fairly long stretch of road, too. Frog Creek Recreation Site, somewhere near McCraigellachie.
Leaving Frog Falls Recreation Area. Please note the overcast. 4 kilometers later, we're on the Trans-Canada. And I can't believe it. Not smoke and not rain.
So here we are, the last spike. Backcountry has been shut down. Everything north of here is on fire. Some of the roads we took to get here are now on fire. We've been told we'll be stopped if we leave the highway. So we're heading home. To be continued 2018, we hope. Trans-Canada heading east. Galena Bay Ferry heading south. Trout Lake heading east. The head of the Lardo River. Heading towards Meadow Creek on fresh gravel. The west side of Kootenay Lake, north of Kelowna, BC. Thanks for watching. Don't forget, the Insane Frame channel has lots of other motorcycle videos. Some are good.